Saying it so many times. So Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube all live stream. And Judicial Watch, as you know, is a nonpartisan organization, watchdog organization that enforces transparency in the government. My next guest is Eric Reimer. He's a town hall columnist and specializes on immigration. And I'm going to give you that to hold.
All right, thanks so much.
Obviously, a major priority of this administration and a major conflict with Democrats in Congress is what to do about immigration.
Oh, definitely.
Where do you see it going right now? It was supposed to be part of the budget negotiations. It's not been addressed. And Vice President Pence said earlier, we are going to build a wall on the border, and that the real issue now is funding the wall and what to do about the so-called dreamers, which are the people who came here as children through no fault of their own, and whether we give them a road to citizenship. So explain to me what the priorities are, where you see it going, how you see it coming up in Congress.
For sure. I think immigration right now, it's such a multifaceted issue, and sadly, I think Democrats the past few months have been really pandering to the base on it. They've been really, we saw the shutdown in January, how they were willing to shut down the government just to try to force an immigration bill immediately. And I think that the fact is that illegal immigration, it's simply, I think everyone in the country agrees that we need to put an end to illegal immigration. I think that large majorities of Americans do believe that we need a humane solution to the problem. I think that certainly no one wants to support people breaking our laws or entering our country illegally, but for DACA recipients, it's a little bit different because a lot of them came over with their parents when they were young. They did not willingly and consciously choose to break the law, unlike their parents.
But haven't the deportations, ICE deportations, have doubled or tripled or something?
Oh, they have, yeah.
And so talk about. I don't think anybody disagrees with criminal deportation. Well, sanctuary cities do. So, at least in the conservative world, in this world here at CPAC, criminal deportation is just very important to get people who are already against breaking law and then convicting crimes against Americans out. And then you see a lot of, in the mainstream media, sort of liberal media, these sort of sad stories of people who've lived an honest life, came here illegally, but have a family life, are being deported. How do you think that's affecting the perception of the president's agenda on immigration?
I think these are definitely very tough issues. I think that certainly the media focus has been a lot on these human stories of people who've been they like to show people being taken out of their homes, and deported immediately. But the fact is, under the Obama administration, there was also a lot of deportations, and so I think part of it is a shift in media coverage of these deportations rather than an actual change in the methods of deportation. I think I think DHS and ICE they still operate under the same general styles and mannerisms as they did before, and so I think there's more simply media focus on the more rough and tumble process of deportation. And I think with law enforcement, I think no one likes to see the sausage be made, and no one. Arrests are inherently a very tough thing to watch.
Right.
I do think that the fact is we do need to enforce our immigration laws. I think that when we show that we tolerate lawlessness, that it encourages more lawlessness. And I think that while doing that, we should be looking to create a new regimen where these things won't be happening in the future. Because if we have
building
less,
a wall.
like measures like securing our border, and I think that by putting an end to future illegal immigration, we can prevent the sad situation we're in right now for the 10 million or so illegal immigrants who are currently in the country. And I think also
10? I always hear 30. Are the
see,
numbers? Nobody knows.
It's very hard to estimate given the nature of the problem.
And I think the estimates come from there's a bias in the estimates depending on who
exactly.
you are.
It depends on whose agenda is being promoted. And I think with that too, it's very important in looking at the illegal immigration problem, also looking at the legal immigration problem. I think that right now our legal immigration system is very broken. We have legal immigrants who can contribute a lot to our country, who are waiting in line for sometimes up to 20 years or more.
Wow.
I think that, definitely. And these are people who are following our laws and not jumping the line. And
wow.
yeah. And
So talk some of the things that President Trump has said that he is going to end is, but this is not put into law, from what I understand, chain migration, and explain that. And but what he's trying to get through Congress versus what Nancy Pelosi has said is her agenda, what she's going to get through, wants to get through Congress, and how they're going to have to come together through this.
So chain migration, also known as the Family Reunification Program, it's a very complex program. Essentially, it means that if someone is allowed to immigrate to the U.S. by merit or diversity or whatever, they can also bring their relatives over to a certain degree. And I think it's a very complex policy because, I mean, on one hand, that it helps immigrants transition to our country when they have, like, say, their parents over or their brother over. On the other hand, it's also very easy to abuse if it's not controlled. For example, if they allow their third cousin over or whatnot, and that suddenly brings a lot of people who
third cousin.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and so it's very distant relations, and these people who have who aren't coming in by merit, who are coming in because of their relation. And so it's a very complex program, and it certainly does need some reform, I think. And I think that I think there's a lot of common ground for Democrats and Republicans to come together on the immigration issue by clamping down on illegal immigration and supporting sensible legal immigration reform. I think a lot of what's going on right now is politics, essentially. I think Democrats are trying very hard to use this as a wedge issue to drive up turnout for their base, to try to appeal to Hispanic Americans, which I think it won't necessarily appeal to it, because I think a lot of legal immigrants, aren't really fans of people who support illegal immigration, and so I think it might not be the political tool they're hoping it to be. And I think that even in our hyperpolarized time, hopefully a solution will come about. I think that both...
Well, talk about what's going to happen in Congress in the next 2 months.
Yeah, precisely. I think that both Democrats and Republicans have seen that both sides are definitely going to hold their ground and not just simply give the other side everything. I think we saw that, like the shutdown in January was negative because it was a paralysis of government, but it also was positive, I think, in showing that both sides do need to compromise on this issue, that Democrats will, not simply accept every GOP proposal, and Republicans will also not simply cater to Democrat demands. And I think that both sides are showing that they believe strongly in their positions, and I think that both sides have a lot of sensible things to bring to the table on this, because it's an issue that affects our entire country. I mean, it defines our country's borders and composition, and I think that hopefully there will be a solution to it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much as well.
Thank you. I'm being told Jerry is coming onto the set. I'll just give you the chair and the microphone. Go to him.
Thanks, Emily.
Okay.